the words of my mouth bring you praise. Let my meditation bring you praise. Let the words that I speak and the thoughts that I think bring glory, not shame unto your name. Let the words of my mouth bring you praise. Let my meditation bring you praise. Let the words that I speak and the thoughts that I think bring glory, not shame unto your name. Come on, let the words of my mouth bring you praise. Let my meditation bring you praise. Let the words that I speak and the thoughts that I think bring glory, not shame unto your name. One more time, let the words of my mouth bring you praise. Let my meditation bring you praise. Let the words that I speak and the thoughts that I think bring glory, not shame unto your name. Now speak to me, Lord. Speak to me. Work in me. Forgive me. Forgive me, Lord. For my sins. Breathe in me. I need you to breathe in me. Love through me. Let them see Christ in me. Let the words of my mouth bring you praise. Let my meditation bring you praise. Let the words that I speak and the thoughts that I think bring glory, not shame unto your name.
Good morning, good morning. It is a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful Saturday. Welcome to Dear Life After. We're so glad that you decided to join us. I know that there's so much other stuff you could be doing, but if you're here in Texas, in the Dallas area, you probably just don't want to be outside, even though it's supposed to be a little bit cooler today. But listen, it's still going to be hot. It's still going to be hot. We are so glad that you joined us. Listen, we have something special. This is a dynamic woman of God that we have here on today. Listen, I'm so super excited. Are you excited? Listen, let me tell you what. You still have time to do what? Tag your friends. Go ahead, tag your friends, tweet your friends, your sisters, brothers, cousins, your boo thing, all of those. Go ahead and invite them to like, follow, and share Dear Life After. Because listen, we're over here impacting lives. Somebody needs to hear what these special guests have to say. And that's why we're here. So go ahead. You still have time to do that. We're going to give you an opportunity to do that. How about that? We're gonna wait for it. Let's see if you can flood the timelines today with Dear Life After. Listen, let's have things to go viral on today. I just feel it. I know you can do it. You can help us get there. But nevertheless, I'm going to bring on this awesome woman because here, you didn't come to hear me. You came to find out about Dear Life After and her journey. So we're not going to wait any longer. I'm going to bring on Jackie Moses.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
Hey, it's a new day. We get another chance, right?
Another chance. That's right.
Another chance. Hey, as Mary J says, good morning, gorgeous.
Good morning, gorgeous. Hey, gorgeous.
Yes. So, Jackie, I was, as I was sitting here and this morning, I've just been, thinking and just kind of meditating. And I thought about, there's this guy that I listen to. He's actually a motivational speaker. And so I came across him doing reels, actually. You know how when you go to and you're doing your music.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about let them judge you. And I was thinking about that because I know so often people, they see us, and they look at us and they say, oh, she looks awesome. She looks like she got it all together, but they don't understand. They don't know the backstory.
At all. At all.
They don't know what you've been through to get to where you are on today. You know? And that's what happens is that people just they make judgments on our lives because what? God has made it look so easy in your life.
Something about serving him.
He's made it look like, hey, that you don't look like what you've been through.
And that's how you know
That it was him, right?
it was him. It's not
Absolutely.
me. It's not my doing. It's the Lord's doing.
Yes, absolutely. So I was thinking about how we talked about, and you can just kind of, jump in and tell your story in regards to, I know we talked about having mother issues because of having sexual abuse as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of how old were you when it started?
It started as far back as I can remember. I would say about 5.
5 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
5 years old was the first offense. It's like I have 3 offenders. So I had the babysitter, which was a neighbor that my mom trusted us to be with. She worked nights, and he was the first person to violate me. And then she had let someone come live with us, and it was a lady from, I don't know what life she lived, but I'm assuming the strip club or something like that. And she introduced me to lesbianism when I was about 9. And then my mom got married, and my stepfather abused me from 9 until they divorced. I think I was 13 or 14 years old. So from 5 years old to 14.
Okay, now we're gonna go back to the strip club lady and the lesbianism at the age of 9. So how did that affect how you felt about relationships in regards to men? I mean, and did that make you, as a, let's say, a teenager, want to be with women?
It didn't, because I had foundation. And so that's the thing that I really like teach to people is when you give your children the proper spiritual foundation, then it will let them know which direction they're supposed to go. And I know it doesn't work for everyone, but for me, the more I dealt with in my life, the more I ran to Christ. So when I was 9, I was really like, I just want to go to church. I just want to go to church because I was trying to escape the things that was happening at home. So I'm learning things that's redirected me. But when I was 14, with that last abuse, I was just like, forget it. I just do what I want to do because and the thing about it is I never, ever had sex except for the violations. So I went through a moment where I thought, does that include sex? Am I still pure? Am I, you know what I'm saying? When you go to church, they teach you that you can't have sex. And if you do, then, so in my mind, I'm just trying to figure out, am I still God's pure child? Not realizing totally that I really lost control of that because you can't stop abuse as a child. But I never really considered being with a woman. That just never was the thing for me.
So the lady, when you were 9, like how long did that go on? I mean, and what were your thoughts as a 9-year-old as you got older and you look back? Like, were you angry? Were you pissed off? Were you angry with your mom? Like,
my biggest thing was, why didn't she protect me? Even when she found out, she still didn't make changes that put me in a place of safety. So I think I hold that. Like, even with other women now, I look at them with their children. I'm like, that's not a safe place. I'm on the outside looking in, but it doesn't look like a safe place. Like, you're not protecting your child, So when I didn't say anything to my mom about my the lesbian lady because she wasn't there long. It only happened once, but it's an experience that I'll never forget.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I didn't tell her about that lady, but I did tell her about the babysitter guy. But she had to go to work, and I guess she just thought she made the best choice she did. But my mom was also married off at 14 years old. So
Okay.
it's just certain levels of protection that didn't get taught to her, even. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. It's kind of like my sister them always say, there's no book on parenting. Okay, so but the question, so from what made you choose to not tell your mom about the lady? Was that in regards to a different feeling in regards to, oh, okay, well, it was one thing that a man had messed with you, but since it was a lady, so there was a shame or guilt or something?
yes, it was the shame because I'm like, okay, but that's a lady, and I know that's not how this goes. In my 9-year-old mind, I thought I just need to not say nothing and just stay out of this lady's way. And not long after that, my mom put her out. They got into an altercation and she put her out. So it didn't happen again.
Wow. Wow. I mean that's a lot. I mean, because when you think about sexual abuse and molestation, and we know that it happens,
Mhm.
and we know that it's always somebody that's, fairly close. But here you're talking about you endured that on 3 different occasions. So 3 different people,
Yes.
you
And
know.
I always felt I can say I felt angry. I was angry, but at the same time, like I said, just having a Christian background, I didn't make some of the bad mistakes that I could have made. But as an adult woman, I think I made more mistakes that was related to those things.
So you were angry growing up. So you're saying that even as growing up though, you felt like that your Christian background as a child, because then some people are gonna say as a child, how did you know to
I can't
revert to that?
I can't explain it. I cannot explain. That's a part of me that I've been told many times, Jackie, that's just not real. But my relationship with Christ started so early because of what the things that I went through. I had to have something that I knew I could lean on. And truly, that was what my grandmother always told me, if you just call on the name of Jesus, he'll come. And I was taught that very young. And my grandmother used to always say, she's going to be your second mom. I'm the oldest of 6 children. So I was always trained to be independent. I've always trained to be responsible. I've always had the responsibility. So I've never, when you have a lot of responsibility on you, you tend not to say the things that you're going through or what you're feeling. Not saying that that's healthy, but that's kind of something that we do when we have a lot on our plate. That's why as women, I have a special place in my heart for women. Women always have more going on than people know.
Absolutely.
So, especially if you wear several hats, your mom, your wife, your minister, your daughter, at our age now, I'm 50 years old. Parents start to get ill. Now you got to run back and forth and take care of your parents. You still got your family going on. Don't have a husband. You got to deal with that, and you're trying to divide yourself to all these people. But I truly did have a God foundation, but I went through my moments of anger and I went through my moments of being promiscuous and making bad choices. But like I said, they came up later as an adult. That
Yeah,
as a child or a teenager.
that's the nice word for horn. Okay.
Yeah, that had them on it. Had them on it. Dated a married man.
We keep it 100 on here. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Had a moment. I dated a married man, but when I found out he was married, I cut it short because conviction is real. And so some things I messed up and I did, but I don't have a body count too high. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
So I know you said that these are things your grandmother instilled in you. So where was your grandmother in regards to when all this went on? Did you ever discuss that with your grandmother?
No, I thought I was ugly. I thought I was too dark. Those are the things that I talked to my grandmother about. We would sit and drink coffee in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would just be talking to her and talking to her. And she would always say, you know, sweeter the blacker the berry, sweeter the juice, you know, try to encourage us. But I told my cousins about the abuse with my stepfather, and that is when CPS was brought in and somebody told and everything. And then when they talked to me,
How old were you then?
10. And I was told that I was going to break up the family, and if you tell, and so my mom stayed with him because I said the reason why I didn't tell her is because he said that I was going to break up the family. So she took that as I wanted us to stay together. But I took that as an action of you just wanted to stay with him. You put him before your children.
So how did that rejection, so to speak, from your mom translate into your adulthood when you got older?
Well, even now today, I still tell her, I just want you to accept and admit that you did not protect us. I don't have understanding. I don't bend on that. You're my mother. I love you, but I need you to take responsibility.
So where are you with if she never does?
I've learned that I have to be okay with it. But as long as she lives, I'm gonna hold her responsible. And I got that from her. My mother was one of the strongest addicted mothers that I could really see. I've seen in my life, and I've been around addiction. And she battled that battle for over 25 years. But she raised 6 children the best of her ability under that influence. And all of us are still here, and all of us are okay to a point. But then we also have some taking medicine for sanity, you know.
Right. Oh yeah, because it definitely affects you. So was she abused? Was your mom abused that you know of as a child?
I would say so. She was married at 14.
Okay.
That's abuse to me. The man was 20 something.
Oh my God.
So that's abuse to me. That's something that she had to deal with. Nobody came to her defense. And that's the reason why they're called cycles.
That's right. Those generational curses. And that's why our society, our generation has to know that therapy is a must.
It's a must.
It's a must.
And that's another thing. When CPS was brought in, I did get therapy. Most people don't ever get that opportunity. And I credit all of that to how I came out today. It's not, you know, my spiritual foundation, definitely, but I got therapy, and it was months of therapy. It wasn't just, send them therapy, talk to her for a couple of days. It was real therapy. I think our system that's set up in place right now, they're just doing a job. I don't think they're really catering to the children and trying to get them true help. But back then, I feel like I got true help. The doctor listened to me. They gave me activities and things to express myself. You know, everything is just a rush thing, and I just want to get my check, and I want to get off at 5 o'clock, you know, and children are being lost in the system and abused still because they just want to get out for work.
But because, you know, back then, you know, people were genuine in regards to actually caring about each other versus now people are in positions.
Selfish mode.
Yeah, that's the real way. That's it. Yeah, it's about me, and this is a job, so I'm just going to do the bare minimum. I'm not concerned on if this patient is truly getting the help that they need. You know what I mean? And
I spend a lot of time counseling because I know that everyone needs an outlet, truly. So
absolutely. So everybody needs somebody to talk to.
Yeah. I'm a counselor every day that I work. From my salon chair, I'm a counselor, and I don't mind. I don't mind.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because people do need that person that they can vent, with, you know. And I know you said that you're going to hold your mom responsible or accountable in regards to that. But have you ever thought about the guilt maybe that she carries in regards to the situation? Because as a parent, I can't even imagine. I'm not a parent. I have nieces and nephews that I love dearly. So I can only imagine as a parent how that would make one feel because things were so different. Times were different. As you said, she was married at 14 to somebody in their 20s, so things were totally different than what we would even imagine.
And that's the thing. Forgive, yes. But a part of me, I don't know if it's the child in me or the stubborn Taurus in me, but a part of me still wants to hear her say, hey, I screwed up. It's a simple sentence. And my mom and I are still close. And I live my life. I'm a stylist. My mom was a stylist. She's my idol. Even in everything that we've been through, I have high respect for my mother. I love her. And I'm not going to let nobody else come for her. My mom. Like, she's still battling addiction to this day. But that's my mom. And that's it. So.
And that's amazing. And that's a good thing,
I cook for her. She moved to an apartment. I make sure she have everything she needs. We do her hair for free. My sister and I both are stylists. We do her hair. We go pick her up. We take her to eat. I do tolerate her as much as I can. But when she goes off the deep end, I have to step back because I can't keep you can't keep hurting me. And a lot of people who, if you never dealt with addiction, you don't understand that. But I cannot be an enabler, and I cannot let you keep bruising me. Because I got enough bruises.
Well, and I think that's something real important that people need to hear and know. You know what I'm saying? Is that because people will be quick to say, well, oh, that's just the way they are. And they think because that's mama, daddy, brother, sister, that makes it okay. And I think as a society, a culture, we have to stop saying that and stop accepting that and knowing that, okay, listen, there has to be a stopping point where that person or persons seek help and guidance to be somebody different because that's who you think you are doesn't mean that I have to accept that.
Yeah. I see a question here. She says, do I think the addiction came from what happened to me? I think the addiction came from what happened to her. I think it was her escape. I think it was I think that was her way of dealing with it. And I've been told stories. I don't know the true way she got started, but I've been told that it was kind of like the Whitney Houston situation. Your brother gives it to you, and this will make it better. It started out with smoking weed. When I was 9 years old, 10 years old, I remember separating the weed from the seeds from a cookie sheet from when they dried it out in the oven.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've been around these type of things, this type of situations, for a long time. I remember being in her closet and finding the mirror with the cocaine powder on the glass. And I'm trying to figure out, what is this? I was a teenager, young teenager, or a tweenager, as they say. I was in between going into, 12, 13 years old. So the exposure's been there. I truly can say you don't have to be what you came from. I've never done any type of drugs. I've never smoked any kind of weed. I don't drink regularly. I might have a glass of wine out to dinner every now and then, but to just say I gotta have a stockpile of drinks, I don't. And a lot of it is because my mother and my father both had addictions. And they lived.
Wow. Okay, so your dad had an addiction as well?
72. He's still alive and he's still healthy. He's still running his construction business. My mom is about to be 70 years old. She's still alive and strong. So I'm like, if I came from that and they both still kicking, I dare not try anything, because honey, I might be able to take it. You know, it's just like I never wanted to try drugs. I'm like, I don't know how strong my system is. I know how strong of a person I am. I know the things that I've endured that didn't tear me down. But I don't want to try drugs. I don't need to see what it'll do. I already saw what it'll do. I've lived it.
Oh, absolutely.
So some things I just don't have to learn myself. I can learn from somebody else.
Oh yeah.
So we need to stop being hard-headed. A lot of people just want to do their life. Let me just experience it. Okay, dummy, that's crazy. Why you want to experience what being a crack addict is? Like, that is crazy.
That is crazy. So were you ever angry with God?
No, but I've asked why a lot. It was embedded in me that I can't be. It's rude to be angry, or blasphemy to be angry. So I was always scared to go that far. But I was like, why? Why me? Like, I can't take another trial. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I've literally told him, I don't want to do this. Like, why? I didn't ask for this title. I don't want to be a minister. A lot of people don't want to admit that. People are chasing after being a minister, an apostle, being a bishop, like, who chases after the responsibility? That is a responsibility.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. People don't take it serious enough. We're supposed to be kingdom building. Y'all chasing after titles, and you get the titles, and then you hurt people. You bleed all over folks because you hurt.
Absolutely.
Creating another problem in the kingdom. And that's the reason why people don't want to come to church, because they feel like they see us do the same things that they're doing in the world.
Absolutely. And I think that's because you would think that some people, or that the world would have learned during the pandemic, that we are the church, and it's not the four walls. It's not the building that we go to on Sundays, because that was taken away. And so at that point, that was our opportunity to be able to do what he's called us to do. Truly.
Exactly. And I did a lot of lives, and I got a lot of inboxes from people saying that I helped them. During that time when I was off of work, I was able to study more, and I was able to pray more. And God was giving me words, and I'm going live, just trying to help people. And it was doing what God intended it to do. And like you said, that's when I learned it's not about going to church. It's taking whatever moment God drops something in your mind to minister to whoever needs it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it can feel strange and seem strange, but if he puts it in your heart or on your mind, you have to ask it. You have to say it. You have to do it, and just know that person has already gotten their confirmation, and you're confirming whatever it is that he's already whispered to them.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, I know we talked about the mom thing in regards to your mom and you holding her accountable. So have you considered you and your mom going to counseling?
Yeah, but she's old school. They don't believe in counseling. You just need to let that go. It's old. No. I need to talk about it. I need you to hear me. So that's why we have small conversations.
Okay. You know, little bitty bites.
I have little bitty bites because I know that it's a lot, and I don't want to be the cause of my mom getting sick, having a stroke, from getting overstressed out about stuff. That's why I always confirm to her that I love her. And I just told her I need it from her. But if she never gives it to me, I'm okay with that. I still love her. I'm going to preach her eulogy probably. But like I said, that's my mom. And I'm her all over again.
Okay, you said you'd be able to preach her eulogy. Do you think that you would actually be able to do that?
I know I will.
Okay. And that just did something to my spirit. You know, my aunt, and she was my aunt. You know, she was my aunt by marriage. You know, my uncle, and I had to do her eulogy on yesterday, and it was hard.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy now.
It was actually hard. The crazy part is when my uncle passed, I did his, and I talked to him all the time. We were fairly close, and it wasn't as hard for some reason. But for her, I don't know why, it was just a different feeling on yesterday.
Well, everything is different. My grandmother passed away on my dad's side, which is a lady that's on the cover of my book. I had to praise dance at her funeral, and my dad just knew I wasn't gonna be able to do it. But I wanted to. I wanted to, and I want to. I don't feel like anybody else could speak about my mother like I can speak about my mother.
Well, and you know what? And I'm sure that's probably absolutely the case. And I guess because for me, when I look at when you do a eulogy, it's really for the people who are still here. Because that person has already lived their life. So their life should have already spoken for itself, so to speak. So it's somebody in the congregation that needs to hear a word to know who he is and what he can and will do.
My thing these days is choose, because everything is choices and decisions, and we have to stop. We have sugarcoated and tiptoed around so much information in church. I feel like the sugarcoated messages. We living in the last days, and I'm gonna really need some solidarity and, as the old folks used to say, the fire and brimstone type of message, because people need to know that hell is real, and people need to know that they have to choose. And life is choices. You can choose to do bad, or you can choose to do good. You can choose to do right, or you can choose to do wrong.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I thank God that I made good choices, and I thank God for my bad choices, because they taught me. And that's key, learning from our bad decisions.
Yeah, we do have to learn from our bad decisions. So how does that affect what you went through in your childhood and your relationships now? Like, okay, are you single? You dating? Like, how does that affect those relationships with men or men friends?
Originally, I think I wound up in my original marriage due to running away from the situation at home. But I had the religion in my mind that kept me in that situation longer than I should have, which still ended in divorce 30 years later.
Okay.
So I was newly single, and I tried the dating thing, and it made, you still have a longing for being in a relationship. So you make bad decisions in that. And so I wound up in a lot of relationships. I wouldn't even call them relationships, situations where I was settling because this person has one feature I like. This person has one feature I like, but nobody's the complete package. So I had to come to a realization that I was making bad choices. I had to accept the fact that it's me. It's not God. He's not holding up anything from me. It's me. I'm making bad decisions, and he's not going to introduce what he has for you in the middle of a bad situation. So when I cut all those people loose, then I've met somebody who's truly, truly, so far, everything that I asked God for. And I've never had to instruct him to do it.
Okay, so you met somebody. So have you had the conversation with him in regards to your past, your childhood experiences? And how was that conversation?
Well, he's like 10 years older than I am. So he's like, I didn't know that things like that happen, like over and over again. Like how, and so he's questioning how my mom can make those choices. And I have to let him know, hey, watch it. I'm trying to be open with you.
She said, watch it.
But that's my mama. Okay. So the way his mom has passed away. So I told him, the way you feel about your mom and how your brother let your mom pass away, trying to do for him instead of healing, that I feel that passion about my mom. I don't care what I tell you happened. please know that that's my mom.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a tough situation to be in, because when when you're with somebody and you care about them, and so now they're telling you all these things that they endured. So I think it's a natural reaction that that person is going to be upset or angry in in regards to, well, hey,
Yeah.
you know, how your mama let this happen to you? You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
he just want to fix it. And my dad was the same way. My dad was not in my life as a young child. I found my dad when I was about 17, 18 years old. That's another thing, you know, my mom told me my dad was dead.
Girl, listen, hold on. And they said, let's park the car. Hold on.
It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I've had a very
Okay, so
exciting life.
that's a lot of stuff in regards to life, your childhood, being an adult, dealing with all those things going through your mind. And then, you know what I'm saying, to hear you sit here and say, you know, oh, okay, that's my mom. Okay, you can't, you know, don't say this, don't say that. But another person is going to be like, come on now, you telling me that she didn't tell you who your damn daddy was. She told you your daddy was dead. She let you get molested by a woman. You got molested by her husband. You got molested as a child. And
that's
you're
my
going to sit
mama.
here and say, oh, okay, well, that's my mama. I love her. And y'all want you to say this.
Don't you dare say nothing about my mama. That's my mama.
So,
and we don't get to choose.
Absolutely not.
We don't get to choose. So it's just like the poor kids that have to deal with those mamas. They didn't get to choose their mamas. They got what they got, and they do the best that they can. And that's why we shouldn't judge people so quickly when we see a certain characteristic in a young child or even a young adult. Because how do you know? You don't know their backstory.
Correct. So all those things, at what point, I mean, like, how did that make you feel? So you saying you was never angry, you never pissed off at her? I mean, even today, I guess, you know, sitting here, when you think about that. So you told me my daddy was dead?
Yeah. And when I found out, I told her, I said, I'm not walking across the stage until you tell me the truth. Because I'm like, why would she tell me my dad is alive and you've been telling me he's dead? And she picked up the phone and called my grandmother. And I've been in contact with my dad ever since. And we never talked about it. She fixed it right then, and we just went on with life. My dad came back in our life. He tried to come back, and he wanted to take care of her and all 6 of us. And by this time, she was divorced. So he came back in our life, and he tried to come and make us a family because he wanted to, you know, try to make up for what he missed on with me. But it didn't work. And so, but me and my dad like this.
So did y'all ever discuss, like, what made her tell you that your father was deceased? I mean, was it because she
said he hit her and she fell down some stairs, and then she just left. And then I was born a few months later. It was while she was pregnant. And my dad, I saw my dad when I was like 2 or 3 months old. They have pictures of me when I was that old.
Okay, so your dad was abusive.
Well, that was her story.
Okay. Well, come on with the truth.
And so his story, because you know, only God know the truth.
Okay. Well, what was his story?
His story was he was trying to leave because she was being combative. And she swung to hit him and missed and slipped down the stairs. Now, I wasn't there because I was in the stomach, so I don't know how it happened.
Okay. So her story, his story, God got the truth. So, okay.
But nevertheless, I'm here. I'm healthy. They both still here. So, you know, I feel like, you know, both of them coming, like my dad's 72, my mom's coming on 70. They did something right, even in the midst of all the wrong. That's why we are not here to judge.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I've
So your
seen people
dad,
live rougher lives that didn't make it to 30. So
oh my God.
what they say, God knows your heart.
And he does, absolutely. And that's the thing to hang on to because he's the only one.
He is. But girl, it was so crazy. When I look back, all I can be is grateful because I know I shouldn't have been where I'm sitting today. I shouldn't be on Dear Life After. I should be out there on the streets where Satan would have me to be.
Mm-mm.
I should have been caught up in the system, or maybe my children caught up in the system. I've been to CPS care more times than I care to talk about, but I will. But they abused us in CPS care. I'd rather my mama abuse me because she birthed me than this lady that I don't know that's got me and my sister sitting on the back porch feeding us after she feeds her children. I don't know this lady, but that's my mama. She loved me a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? She
Absolutely.
loved me a little bit, you know. Y'all taking me from my mama, like, and putting me in this home with these people that don't even care about me. Me and my sister would sit on the back porch while she fed her children, and we were fed leftovers, which was gravy and biscuits, no meat. And I remember that.
Absolutely, because things like
And she beat my sister with a belt buckle. The CPS lady, the lady whose house they set at the foster home that they set us in. So then my children going to school, they come home from school, 30 minutes, they're home by themselves. But I would always prepare snacks and put them on the bottom row of the refrigerator. They came in, now they were latchkey kids. And they probably shouldn't have been coming home by themselves, but hey, I had to work. I lived in Midlothian, it was not cheap.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But they were only home for 30 minutes by themselves, but somebody called CPS on me. And of course they investigated because of my history. They saw my name pop up. They know that they took me from my mom.
It's truly amazing. Like I said, when we think about how people judge people in regards to the outer package, you know what I mean? Because when you look at the outer package, like I did say Mary J says, "Good morning, gorgeous." And it's just because it's an affirmation, because we should encourage each other as women, in regards to, and it's not just about our outer beauty. You know what I mean? It's about what's inside of us and the love that should flow through us, but it's
that's
just
overtaken.
Yeah, it's just
it can
amazing.
Be overtaken.
Yeah,
you
it's
can
amazing.
Be gorgeous on the outside, but if your heart is hurting and you haven't had anybody love on you truly, it can be very ugly. And I can't even see your face when your attitude is bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why, I think growing up we was taught that pretty is as pretty does. I mean, because you can be just the most beautiful person on the outside, but if your actions, the way you treat people, the way you display things are ugly, then that's how you're gonna come across. Period.
And I try to tell people, don't go in straight judgmental.
Absolutely.
You don't know where that person is. I've seen people, they look at a picture and the first thing they say is, "Oh, her nose too big. Oh, why she got..." You don't know that lady. And why you go to the negative first? That's something to deal with you, ma'am. You're dealing with something inside of you when you look at a picture of someone else and find all the negative things. And I make it a point to share affirmations with people who didn't even ask me for it. When I see a little girl, I say, "Hey, beautiful, how are you? Hello, gorgeous, how are you?" They may never hear anybody else say it, but they're going to hear it from me that day. I make it a point to feed positivity into these little girls because we are lost a whole generation to social media, telling them that they're not gorgeous enough and they're natural. They got to go have surgery. They got to do this, you got to do that. So I'm like, no, you're gorgeous just the way that you are.
I was talking to somebody. It's funny that you say that about the surgery, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, so, and there's nothing wrong. Like if you need help losing weight, by all means, because
Yeah,
I know that it's a struggle. It can be hard to lose weight, But when you go and you gotta, think you gotta do all of this, that, other to your body. And again, let me give a disclaimer. My opinion. Okay,
right.
my opinion, not my judgment, my opinion, is that, so you think God made a mistake? He
Exactly.
says we were created in his image. So that means that he made us. So all the things about us are things that he designed, so to speak,
Exactly.
because he's the creator. So now you're saying he didn't create you right?
Yeah.
I mean, the weight, those are different things because we get older or things happen, and so
Menopause.
you gain
So
weight, so to speak. So that's totally
menopause and hot
different. Yeah.
flashes. So disrespectful.
Oh yeah, I hate it for you. I didn't have it like that, but I hate it for you. Yeah,
Oh, it ain't right. But
yeah.
my granny used to say, when you walk in the room, own it. You walk in the room like you're supposed to be there. And I do. And people tell me that all the time. When you walk in the room, you just head high, just owning it. And sometimes I'm not even feeling that confident.
Oh yeah.
But I was taught to hold your head up high. My grandmother was 6'2", 200 and something pounds.
Oh yes, yes. And you actually should, because you got to act like you belong. And I think that's what happens, is that we are in places and we already intimidated. Why?
Yeah. You're there. Somebody invited you.
That's right.
Take your time to shine, boo.
Okay.
They invite me places now.
Okay.
Like, okay, what color we wearing?
Okay. You like say, ain't nobody stopping my shine.
Ain't nobody stopping my shine. I'm on my way. I'm coming through.
Yes. Yes.
There was a time my air conditioner was out in my car. I'm coming and I'm going to the bathroom right quick. I'll be right back. Come out of the bathroom in a whole nother outfit. Cause I didn't have to sweat all the way here. But let me go in the bathroom and get together. I'm gonna come back out in a minute.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny because that's where I met you. Remember, at the tea, at the women's tea. And when you told, you know what I'm saying? And when I think about that, I think about the perseverance in regards to, I'm going to push through because God gave me an assignment. And so I'm not going to have an excuse on a reason not to show up and do what he called me to do.
Yeah.
Period. And that's the thing about even your life, when people hear your story and the things that you've endured, the perseverance of pressing through.
You got to.
Because you're on an assignment. You're on an assignment.
Yeah.
See, somebody needed to know. Somebody needed to see, okay, here this beautiful lady is, yet she has been abused. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. One for the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, because God said, I know what I'm going to do in your life. I know you are a definite testament of, I know the plans I have for you.
Yes.
Because here you are right now, a minister, counseling people, touching lives, and not letting what has happened to you hinder what he called you to be.
You got to keep your eyes on the prize.
Yes. Yes.
And I always tell people, it's a fixed fight. You got to remind yourself that. And the enemy trying to tell you this, and people in your mind, you got to change your atmosphere because they're going to be, they can't see what you see. Sometimes we got to move in silence because God have told you to do this thing, not everybody else. And you share it with the wrong people, and then they start making you doubt whether or not you're supposed to really do it. Now you're off course.
Yeah.
Focus on the prize and move according to whatever it is God told you to do. We have to keep our focus. it causes delays. Like I said, in those relationships, due to my past, making bad decisions, settling, instead of keeping my focus on what I know God promised me.
Well, I think what happens is, you know, being a person who's been in your situation as well, I think that what happens is that people have this conception of what life should be like,
Or what they want it to be like.
of what they want it to be like, you know. So then I think what happens is, you know, we let guilt and shame and all those questions that go in our minds, you know, because we're thinking, like you said, I mean, the why me, or why God, why did this happen to me, so to speak, you know? And so I think a lot of times that can change the trajectory of things,
Yes.
you know. And I know you talked about your grandmother and the rearing and the impact that she had in your life, and your grandmother. We want to get a chance to talk about how that brought about your book,
Mm-hmm. Granny.
Granny.
It was Granny. On my mom's side, it was Granny, and on my dad's side, we call her Muddy. My dad is from Louisiana, Bastrop, Louisiana, and my grandmother is from Texas. So,
Okay.
but Granny is who we got dropped off with every summer. The
Okay.
last day of school, bags already packed in the van when we was dropped off at school that morning. When we got back in the van that evening when she picked us up, we was on our way to Granny house, and we got dropped off for the whole summer. And those were my breaks from the molestation.
Okay.
And I listened to her. She cultivated a lot of things in that short time. And so, but she said so many things. Granny said, and I'm always saying it. Granny said this, Granny said that, my granny said. And so my friend was like, girl, you need to write that stuff down, because your granny was talking.
Okay.
Helping some people. And so, then they would leave the salon, and then I look on Facebook and they posted, you know, and they were like salon conversations or whatever my granny said. And the book came from that. Just like write it all down. And then I looked in the Bible and found scriptures to go with some of those sayings. And you realize they was teaching the word all along, but they wasn't Bible beating us with it. They was giving it to us like it was just a saying.
Right. Because it's supposed to be applicable to our life.
Yeah. Kind of like when Jesus gave parables instead of just beating the word on the disciples, you know.
Yes.
So that's what I found out. It's like, oh, it's a scripture to go with that.
Okay. Okay. So your book is available where for purchase?
It's available on Amazon. Just type in Granny Said Keep Living, Jacqueline Moses. That's my former name. And I also have them here at the salon, Jackie's Hair Cafe, 1427 Oak Ridge Drive, Duncanville, Texas. Those are the two places you can find it now.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Again, you know, it is so amazing. I'm so glad for the connection. And just
me too.
I'm in awe of God and what He's done in your life. You know.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that you could see my light and invite me on your show. It's a very humbling experience for me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I am honored that you accepted the invite, and you know, me not even knowing your story, just knowing that God says, yeah, her, you know, and I've just learned to be obedient to Him. You know.
Yes. That's important. It's important,
you know.
That's important.
Because I'm telling you, like I said, when you were saying some of those, those things, those are some things that I can so relate to personally, in my life as well. So, that's why I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. We know about, promiscuous, that, hey, that's the nice word for hoeing,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
and
you
so when
sounded
you
like my grandmother when you said that. And I told my friend, I said, girl, it's so hard to write this book without cussing. Because Granny cussed. She said it made her feel better. She was a preacher out in the church.
well, because you have that person that's not going to be able to relate to that. And that's why I tell people on here, we try to keep it real. We're not trying to be ugly, but we want to keep it real. So somebody might not understand, well, what's promiscuous? Hoeing, baby. That's what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So you won't, because you don't want to miss that person that needs to hear, that needs to know, because you're trying to keep it, you know what I'm saying, like, all prissy, so to speak. No, we're not going to be disrespectful. We're not going to be disrespectful, but we want to give it to them real. People want to know, okay, yeah, you ain't, like you said, okay, I had those questions. I still want to know why. I think people think that, oh, okay, because you're a minister, because you do this, you do that, you don't have questions. Yeah, it's just, everything is just okay. No, that's not the case.
We just deal with it a little differently, but we still have it.
Yes. So again, thank you. I want people to please go out and purchase her book and reach out to her if you can. Please, we want to always encourage. We're going to just kind of close out with my Dear Life After. Dear Life After, I so awaited this moment. Dear Life After, I had no idea that my experiences were the same as someone else's. Dear Life After, I thank you because of the journey there is an after. Dear Life After, to know that there is no book that could ever explain where I've been, but knowing that, dear Life After, you will know where I'm going. Dear Life After, there's no love like a mother's love. Dear Life After, we thank you for connections. Dear Life After, because there is an after, there was a before. Dear Life After, we just thank you for the amazing gifts that the past, Dear Life After, we just thank you, Dear Life After, because of the before, there is a now, Dear Life After, because God is, there is a Dear Life After. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, buddy.
Jackie, I'm elated. I'm really emotional again, because of so much things that we have in common. And I just know that, God always knows who to connect. And so I want to remind everyone, not just about coming here and meeting us here live on Saturdays at 11. And if you know someone who has a story and they want the opportunity to make a difference in somebody else's life, please have them reach out to me. They can email me at dearlifeafter@gmail.com. And also my producer, she has Morning Tea with Lonnie B, Monday through Thursday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Please grab your coffee and join her Monday through Thursday at 8 a.m. And then on Fridays, we have Bible study with Manny Cush at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want to dive into the word, please join on Fridays at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. They'll be live. We are the Kusamos at gmail.com is how you can reach out to them as well. And then on Sundays, he is back for his new season, Motivation Moments with Greg Bloomfield. He's going to be here on Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. He has awesome, amazing guests. You don't want to miss it. So please, tell all your friends. We ask that you support us by liking, following all of our pages if you can. So that we can build our following. Again, I appreciate you coming on. It was indeed an honor. And I thank all of the people who are regularly on. I appreciate your love and support. So until we meet again,
Yes.
make it a great day on purpose.
Amen.